So today I made, how much did I make? On one of my accounts, I made just a little 1.9K. And then on the other account, I made 11.8K. I had a loss and then I had a win. And I'll be breaking down exactly how I did this in this video, okay? Now, this is a very, very interesting video because in my previous one, you would have seen I take a loss for January, but now, of course, we are in profit for the month. And that goes to show that sticking to the plan and trusting the process will always result in you coming out on top, okay? I had a very bad start to January, I'm not gonna lie. I had that loss, which I showed you. But now, I saw a setup and I ended up taking it and, as you guys saw, making an awful lot of money, tens of thousands of dollars from one trade alone. And that covers all of the losses and has brought me into a lot of profit for January. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into a lot of detail today on this trade, okay? So you can understand exactly how I did it and you guys can do this for yourself. And by the way, I've got a free community, no catches at all. You can hit the link below and join the free Discord, and you can also take the same trades as me inside of there. I'm doing a lot of free stuff this year, trying to give back to you guys as much as I possibly can. So go and check that out. But for now, let's go on the charts and let's break down this trade. So looking right here on EURUSD, I've actually replayed price back a little bit, and I want to do this with you so you can understand what I'm looking for in the markets before I go ahead and take a trade, okay? So at the start of the month, we saw price was heading lower, right? So January the 1st is right here, and it started by going all the way to the downside, and this actually did sort of look very bearish, right? I kind of thought to myself, oh, you know, maybe this is the start of a bearish trend for 2026. However, then I thought to myself and I understood that maybe we are not seeing that. Maybe what we are seeing is price open here, go lower, grab liquidity, and then close bullish for January. And that is what has ended up happening, okay? Well, January still hasn't ended yet, but it is gonna close bullish because it will, right? I know my stuff. And I'm very, very good at this sort of monthly profiling. That's the actual term for this, and weekly profiling, and basically predicting what the market is going to do. And that's what I did in this situation. So instead of being scared and thinking, oh, the market is looking very, very bearish, I simply waited for some buying pressure to come in. So eventually you will see if I skip to the start of the week, we came down, right? And we grabbed the liquidity that I was talking about from this low here, okay? Which then gives us fuel to eventually move to the upside. And you can see here, Monday, the 19th of January, opened and it was super, super bullish. And that is because it had generated liquidity from this low, and now it made a lot of sense to move higher. So I essentially waited to see confirmation of this buying pressure from Monday, and also very, very, very clearly from Tuesday. And then I ended up taking a trade on the Wednesday. So what we'll do is we'll drop now to the 15-minute time frame, and I'll show you what we were seeing when we eventually looked to take this trade. Now, the reason I didn't trade Monday or Tuesday is because, first of all, Monday, I don't even trade Mondays, right? Even with my community, my private community, I still don't even bother doing the live trading calls with them, not because I'm lazy, but because I know that Monday is going to be a low probability day. I believe this was actually New York bank holiday, and hence why there was very, very low volume. So I didn't trade it. And then Tuesday, yes, in theory, I could have looked for an Asia sweep and then a continuation higher, but that didn't end up happening, so there was no trade. And then that brings us on to Wednesday, okay? So Wednesday right here, we simply waited. Oh, before I do this, I want to show you actually the DXY as well, because I want to show you that the DXY is very, very important in your analysis too. And we'll see this in a second, right? And you need to understand that if we're going to be trading EURUSD and looking for buys, then we want to make sure that the DXY is looking bearish. And as you can see here on the daily time frame, if I just show you this, let me just ignore this analysis, guys. This is from this Sunday, where I basically gave my community some more analysis going into next week. But yeah, as you can see, there was a lot of selling pressure coming in on DXY, clearly making price want to go lower. And that is why I expected EU to go higher, because DXY was showing a lot of selling pressure, leaving massive fair value gaps as you'll see, for example, from, you know, this right here and this right here. And I actually used one of these fair value gaps as my entry on this trade as well. And I'll show you this in a second. We need to replay price actually back a little bit more to about here, to when Wednesday opened. And it was an hourly, I believe, fair value gap. Okay, just right here, right? So this was the original fair value gap, okay? Then price had come up, filled most of it, but it still had left this remaining fair value gap. So what I said to my community, and I'll show you proof of this in the Discord, just literally give me 1 second. Trade ideas, 21st, and there you go, right? I don't know if you guys can see this, but in the Discord, in the trade idea section inside of my Discord, right, you can see right there, I sent in this fair value gap and I said to them, I want to see a reaction from that fair value gap on the hourly time frame, something basically like this, to then look for DXY to go lower, and as a result EU to go higher, which strengthens our trade even more. So that's what I was looking for on DXY. Now let's go back to Euro USD and we can see how we actually went about entering this trade. So as I said, we were looking for buyers on Euro USD. We waited for the Asia range to play out, just like this. And then what we saw, let me go to the 15-minute time frame actually. Okay, is price manipulate lower, coming into an hourly fair value gap on Euro USD as well, which you can see identified from this level like this. Okay, and then once it had started to fill most of that fair value gap, after taking out, really important to mention as well, the Asia low right here, okay, which is another confluence for my strategy, then price started to show signs that it was about to reverse. However, I didn't go ahead and take this buy just yet because I was really waiting for that DXY confirmation from this fair value gap, okay? But look at this, we hadn't seen that yet because DXY had only just now come into that fair value gap, and I was basically waiting for a bit of consolidation, which if it lets me play out, price, it's lagging a bit of consolidation, and then basically some selling pressure to come in around, I believe it was around this candle here, boom. And then that is when I looked to get an entry. So I got my entry, it would have been around this point when I started to see this selling pressure come in here on DXY, which confirms the move on Euro USD would actually start to happen. So my entry was not this late, it was around, you see this 15-minute candle, let me zoom in a bit more. This one right here, right? That bullish pin bar is when I got my entry, because that shows us very strong signs of buying pressure. Stop loss would have been about 9 pips ish, and then the target, of course, if you guys know how to trade my strategy, is going to be the Asia high, just like that. Okay, and then that was the trade that we took, and then you will see it played out perfectly, went straight to our TPs. And I want to go ahead and show you the wins inside of my Discord as well, so you guys can see that it's not just me taking these trades, it's of course my community as well. And as you can see, Dan right there caught a win. There's just endless wins, to be fair, in the community. And like I said, if you do want to join, then the link is in the description. It's totally free to join. So if you're not going to join, I don't know what you're doing, to be honest. So yeah, hit the link below. But yeah, that is the trade that I took. And yeah, man, like the reason we didn't, well, actually, no, it did also happen on GU as well, I believe. But GU ended up selling off a lot more. And you can actually see here from this selling pressure, it was very strong. So instead of taking the trade on GU, because of that stronger selling pressure, I decided to take it on EU instead, as EU was looking a bit less salesy, if that makes sense. You know, like the selling pressure here wasn't that strong. We were respecting this hourly for value gap, and then it was worth taking the trade on EU for me. A few of my students actually did take it on GU, but yeah, for me, I took it on EU, and the trade went well. So that goes to show, you know, a few things. be patient, always stick to the plan, guys, like I always try and tell you. And even if you do have a loss to start off the year, that does not define how the month will end, right? I had a loss, I think it was the 7th of January, if I'm correct. And then this one right here, literally about a week or two later, on the 21st of January, is a winning trade. And I also, heads up, caught a winning trade on Thursday as well, on the 22nd, which made me another couple of $1,000s, which will be broken down next Saturday on this YouTube channel. So stay tuned for that. So it's been a crazy January. And it goes to show that things can change very, very quick as long as you stick to the plan. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you in the next one. Make sure to subscribe. And like I said, hit the link below to join the free Discord server, and I'll see you guys inside.